All right, before I get rolling here, I want you guys to take 2 fingers, raise them up to your nose, and take a good whiff. Just, oh yeah. Do you know where your fingers have been? Hang on to that thought, and I'll tell you why coming up. And if you got a case of the Mondays, you've come to the right place. So let's raise a little hell. From Hollywood, it's the world-famous Mojo Elliott. A lewd dude, always in a loose mood, unedited, unfiltered, and uninhibited. Thanks for dropping by for January 6th. Now, this has been beating the hell out of me all morning. I can't figure this out. I know something significant happened on January 6th. And off the top, I can't figure out what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, I'll be able to figure it out. But as you know, we kick off the new year here. I want you to listen to some wisdom from the great Italian philosopher, Sylvester Stallone.
The most valuable thing you might have in your life that you really don't pay attention to, especially when you're young, because you just feel you have an abundance of it. It's never ending. Time. And as you get older, you realize time becomes your currency. When you realize there's less runway up ahead than behind, you sometimes learn that too late. So I'm telling you people that you really have to be very, very, very stingy with your time. Don't waste it on people that aren't like-minded. Don't waste it doing things that you know are not part of your dream plan.
I listened to that last July, and it inspired me to do this podcast. At the end of August, I launched the Rat's Ass podcast because when I left radio in 2022, I really needed a creative outlet and couldn't find one. Until a friend of mine recommended, hey, why don't you do a podcast? So here we are, ready to start month number 5. We're 4 months later, month number 5 starting right now. And you know there's nothing I would rather do than spend my time entertaining you with my fabulous wit and wisdom. So this is why I'm doing not 2, but 3 shows a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Plus, who knows, I might throw in a wild hair episode. That means maybe I do one on Tuesday, Thursday, over the weekend, whenever the wild hair strikes. On top of the 3 that I've already promised you. Looking forward to it. So welcome to a new year of the Rat's Ass podcast. Now, I got to come clean with you. Last podcast, I said I don't make New Year's resolutions. Well, I guess I lied because over the weekend, I made a New Year's resolution. Now, does it count after the 1st? Can you make a New Year's resolution after the 1st of the year? Maybe I'm disqualified. I don't know. But here's what I'm going to do. And it revolves email and texting. I'm done with the email text conversations. Okay? The only time I use email and text in 2025 is to set up a phone call or a FaceTime conversation. I'm kind of doing the business approach. You know, when I ran radio stations, that was the rule. You email me to set up a phone call or a meeting time, either Skype, Zoom, whatever fly-by-night operation we were using at the time. But that's how we did it. And then if I needed to follow up that call with an email to keep everybody on the same page, I did it. I'll do the same thing personally as well. We'll have a conversation and I'll follow it up with a thank you, something like, hey, it was great to talk to you today. Look forward to talking to you again real soon, and I hope that you get that wart on your ass removed real soon. Something like that, all right? So let me ask you a personal question, now that you've had a chance to sniff your fingers. Do you wash your hands before and after going to the bathroom? I bring this up because over the weekend I was having dinner with a group of people, and I was the only one at the table who did not have COVID, never caught the stuff. And I started thinking, why was I the lucky one? Because everybody else at the table had a bout of COVID. Some too. Some had long COVID, for crying out loud. I didn't even have a cold during the pandemic. And I started thinking about it, and I realized I have a habit that nobody else really has. And I've noticed this just by watching people who walk into a restroom. Nobody washes their frickin' hands before they go to the bathroom. Now, I want you to consider this. Think of all the things you touch throughout the day before you go to the bathroom. All the germs that you're collecting on your fingers, on your hands. Then you go to the bathroom, you unzip, you pull down, you whip it out, take it out, whatever it is you got to do, and you touch yourself in that nether region. And when you're done, what do? You zip up, you pull up, and you lock all of those germs in a dark closet. And when you lock germs in a dark closet, what happens? They fester and they grow like a fungus. And you're walking around with your hands clean thinking, yeah, I washed my hands after I went to the restroom. Meanwhile, all that action's happening down in your nether region. I always wash my hands before and after I go to the restroom. I always have. It's the way I was reared, that you wash your hands before and after you go to the bathroom. And when I leave a store, when I leave any place, when I'm out, I have hand sanitizer galore. I mean, my center console is full of hand sanitizer. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a germphobe, especially after the pandemic, but I always sanitize my hands when I return to the car. And I haven't had a cold, haven't had COVID, and I'm just saying that I don't have any scientific data at all that supports this. I'm just saying it's a coincidence. So think about it. All right, who's ready for the NFL playoffs? All the teams are set for the wild card. Kansas City and Detroit got the number 1 seed, so they won't play this weekend. In the AFC, we got Houston and the Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, Buffalo and Denver. In the NFC, the Rams will play Minnesota, the Los Angeles Rams. Tampa Bay will play Washington, and Philadelphia will play Green Bay. Now, as I sit here, some of you may or may not know, even though I grew up near Pittsburgh, I am a diehard and disgruntled Raiders fan. But I'm pulling for my hometown team here, the Los Angeles Rams. I can't pull for the Chargers. They're a Raiders rival. Why would I? So that's not happening. But go Rams. I'm behind you 100%. I love their offense, and if their defense shows up, I like their odds of getting to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm also somebody who likes to pick games. And you can go to the Rat's Ass Podcast blog and get my picks. I'm pretty good at it. I'm hitting it about 79% this year. Yesterday sucked. I'll be honest with you. I was 9-7 this week because all the teams that should have played their players, because the fans pay to see them play, but yet we're going to rest them for the playoffs. Like Kansas City rested their whole team and Denver beat the hell out of them. Okay, fine. That screwed me because I picked Kansas City to win that game. Had Mahomes and everybody else played, I guarantee you they would have throttled Denver. But that's what happened, so that's why I sucked yesterday. Don't look at yesterday's picks as being the gospel. It was 9-7. Typically, 12-4, 13-3, 11-5 if I'm having a bad week, unless it's the last week of the season. But the thing is, I never gamble money on the first 3 weeks of the season or the last week of the season. All my damage is done mid-season when it comes to betting on football. I can resist until then. All right, who's ready for some loose behavior? By the way, my picks will be up on Friday, okay, for this weekend. Let's see what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast X feed. This is where we choose an interesting post on X, and I share a few comments to get us warmed up here. All right, Pop Hud posted this one. It said, when is the right time to ask a woman for her phone number? Peter Ross said, when she's good and drunk. I don't know about that, Peter. You might call her and she'll say, who are you? Don't think that's a good approach. Jordan McMillan said, you don't ask, you hand your phone to her and say, give me your phone number. You know, I think back in the day that used to work, Jordan. Not sure that's a good way to go today. Skylar Borman said, after she accepts the first drink, you buy her. So essentially, Skylar, what you're saying is you're buying her phone number. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're all three wrong. You never ask a woman for her phone number. I'm going to tell you how to play the game here. If she's interested in you, she will give you her phone number and ask you to call her. Here's the game. You meet her, you have a nice conversation, you buy her a drink or two, and then you say, well, it was very nice meeting you. I have to go now, and maybe I'll see you again sometime. As you get up and walk away, that's when you find out. That's go time. She knows chances of seeing you again are slim and none. So she's going to, if she's interested, say, let me give you my phone number, and maybe we can carry on this conversation another time. Call me, and we'll set up a date. If she doesn't, then you know she wasn't interested. She was just there for the goodies, for the drinks and the conversation. That's it. But that's how you know, and it saves your ego a little bit, all right? So that's how it's done. Because if you just come right out and ask her for her phone number, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. She's going to give you a wrong number. You know, I knew a girl once who used to give guys the number to the free clinic. They'd call up, and it would be the free clinic, also known as the It Burns When I Pee hotline. All right, here's your Hollywood sleaze for today. The Golden Globes took place last night in Hollywood. Did you watch? Neither did I. But I heard host Nikki Glaser, who's dynamite, brought down the house. Did you ever see her roast Tom Brady? My God, you got to YouTube that sucker, man. It's nasty, but it's prime time. You got to check that out. The Tom Brady roast was really good. The Golden Globes are a precursor to the Oscars, as you know, and this year the Oscars host will be, they drug him out of hibernation, Conan O'Brien, also known as the decaf of comedy. 20 years after their divorce, Billy Bob Thornton ran into Angelina Jolie at the Golden Globes. True to form, Billy Bob greeted her with, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Did you hear about the scandals brewing at Fox Sports? This is juicy stuff, man. Apparently, host Joy Taylor has been making the rounds, sleeping with anyone who would want to take a dip with her and that could move her up the ladder a little bit. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I hate spreading gossip about things I don't know the truth about. I'm just telling you what's out in the press right now. But here's what I know. Colin Cowherd moved her right along and hired a guy to work with him, okay? Having a lot of media experience, okay? Cowherd's a very straight arrow, and if he got wind of men tapping Taylor's tuchus, he's the kind of guy who would distance himself and get her moved out of the situation. And I say this because he got away from the stench by taking the safe route and bringing on Jason McIntyre, J-Mac. He hired a guy, not a girl, to work with him. So that's why I'm kind of thinking where there's smoke, there's a little fire here. Now, that's not the only thing that's happening. A lawsuit has been filed against former talk host Skip Bayless, who apparently offered a hairstylist $1.5 million to sleep with him. $1.5 million. Can you imagine? Hey, I'll give you $1.5 million to sleep with me. But my guess is the 73-year-old Bayless really meant to sleep, as in catching some Z's. I mean, I don't think Skip's up for riding that pony, man. We are just 15 days away from saying adios amigos to Joe Biden and his yin to his yang, Kamala Harris. On his way out, Joe's been busy setting landmines for Trump to overcome, proving he's every bit of the anti-American hunk of monkey dung I've always believed him to be. I bet when Joe left the Oval Office every day, he'd say, "Good night, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow to fuck something else up." Not a joke. But who gives a rat's ass? All right, the wait's over. Let's do what you come here for. The Rat's Ass Podcast email from our Gmail. All right, this is where you email me your comments, questions, thoughts, and observations to the Rat's Ass Podcast at gmail.com, and I respond. No topic is off the table in 2025. I'm going to talk about it all, so bring it on. I do not read your email in advance. My producer, Fleabag, forwards me your name, where you're from, and rewrites them so I can respond rapid fire and on the fly. All right, let's check it out. Miguel M. from Durango, Mexico. What in the hell's a raw dogger? Miguel. A raw dogger is just simply sex without a condom. That's it. Tina L. from Lubbock, Texas. She says, the relationship between you and your late brother was turbulent. Two things. Why do you think it was turbulent from your point of view? And can you say anything good about him? All right, well, here's the deal. You can go back to the last episode, and I kind of tell, the last couple of episodes, I tell some family stories about my evil prick brother, Raymond. Okay, say something good about him. Tina, he was a hell of a father. Raised 3 great daughters, good husband, solid citizen. With a family he created, the family that created him, he was a real evil prick too. I mean, the guy didn't show up for his mother's funeral. What's that tell you? Okay? As far as why do I think it was turbulent? Like I said, I'm a half-brother to my siblings. Okay? So I kind of grew up as a son of a single mother, so to speak. And I think instead of being a brother, he tried to be my father. And I'm a pretty stubborn, hard-headed individual. And that shit just doesn't play with me. I've always felt that I'm going to do it my way, and if it doesn't work, it's going to be on my shoulders, and I have nobody else to blame but myself. And that's kind of a quality that has been a positive and a negative for me throughout my lifetime. But as far as a good thing, man, he was really a good father. I'll give him that much. Jade M. from Bentonville, Arkansas says that I was considering using Ozempic until I heard you drop 25 pounds in 6 weeks, so I'm going to try it your way and let you know how it goes. Good, Jade. I hope it does work for you. It may not drop 25 in 6 weeks for you, but hey, maybe it does 30. I don't know if you need to lose 30. Maybe it does 5, 10. Everybody's different, but you can go back to the last podcast too and see what I talk about on losing weight. All right. She also said, I read on your blog about rock being dead. Yes, I wrote a cool article. Gene Simmons says rock is dead. I disagree. You can read that on the blog. I want to know what bands you listen to now. Well, being a radio personality for many years, I played so much of the 70s and 80s rock. I can't listen to it anymore. It's not that I dislike it. It's just that I've worn it out. I've played it so many times. There's only so many times you can play Boston More Than a Feeling, right? Okay? So I kind of dug the grunge of the 90s, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots. Over the last few years, I really dig Godsmack, Five Finger Death Punch, Tool. Volbeat is another band I really like. Plus, I still like the stuff Metallica has released, going back to Load and Reload. A lot of Metallica fans, not huge fans of that music, but the harder, the better for me. I think it's the Fountain of Youth, too, by the way. David P., Yuma, Arizona, said, are you good with Mike Johnson being reelected as Speaker of the House? Yeah, David, I'm good with anyone who isn't Nancy Pelosi or Hakeem Jeffries. Nancy Pelosi on January 6th. Why does that seem familiar to me? Alexa, how is Nancy Pelosi associated with January 6th?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, well, maybe it's just my imagination then. All right, Connor G. from Dublin, Ireland said, I wanted to say I've met a lot of American women on WhatsApp, and they're mostly all mentally unstable. Oh, God. It's no wonder 80% of American men have stopped dating them. By the way, the normal ones are from Sweden. Well, I don't know about the Swedish ladies, Connor, but I will tell you, American men know how to drive women nuts in and out of the sack, okay? Skip D. from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, said, I read a lot of crazy shit about California, dude. That governor of yours is a lying scumbag. Yeah, yeah, he is. The slumlord, Governor Gavin Newsom. Why don't you get the hell out of there? Well, Skip, you know what? I've, programmed radio stations north, south, east, and west. And I like it here. I just absolutely like it here. When I was 13, I visited California. I knew this is where I wanted to be. I've been here since 1986. But with my work, I've traveled all over the country consulting radio stations and programming them. Did most of my work here in Southern California. And I just like it here. Anywhere you go, you're going to find negative stuff. The press is always going to show you the negative stuff. If it bleeds, it leads. Okay? There's nice pockets everywhere. Every place I went, I found really nice places. I just like it here. And I'll give an example. Everybody's freezing their ass off. Snow is everywhere. People are out, snow blowers, shovels, trying to get through massive amounts of snow right now. Alexa, what's the high in Hollywood today?
Today, in Hollywood, California, expect a high of 72 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's all I'm saying. Right there, January 6th, 72 degrees. I'm sitting here buck naked. No, actually, I've got a thong on. No, I'm kidding. I have jeans on right now, as far as you know. Brandon W. from Camarillo, California says, what's your secret in picking NFL winners? Oh, you want secrets, huh? You want secrets? Okay, here it is. I'll give it to you real quick. I look for the team with the best quarterback, with the best defense playing at home against the bad team with the bad quarterback. The NFL is a quarterback league. So I always, unless it's the last damn day of the season, I always take the best quarterback playing against the worst quarterback. The only time it doesn't work out, most cases, penalties, turnovers, special teams. That's when I usually get burned. But that's why I hit about, 79% this year, but usually anywhere between, 77, 84%. But just remember, the NFL is a quarterback league. Home field advantage doesn't really matter as much as it used to. There's an old saying, the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. Those are the times you don't win when you pick NFL games. Keep that in mind. All right, keep sending your emails with your thoughts, observations, comments, and questions to the Rat's Ass Podcast at gmail.com. Rat's Ass Podcast at gmail.com. And I'll give you my 2 cents that makes no sense on the next episode. But it is time for me to fly. I know you hate to see me go, but I do have one more thing for you, though. I always have one more thing. Have you ever wondered why men prefer to do the deed doggy style? Well, there are 3 main reasons. Number 1, it's the best position for a man who has an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny willy. And number 2, makes it easier to hit the G-spot. Number 3, I think we all agree, it's great for the quickie. However, men, with a large hunk of junk should beware that doing it doggy style could be unsafe. Did you know you can break it? Oh, yeah. Slow down and enjoy that ride, folks. Just remember, if you're packing a pound of meat down there, boys, treat it as a school zone, not the Audubon, all right? All right, shouts out to USA listeners in Bozeman, Montana, Henderson, Nevada, Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and Northridge, California. Also globally in Pitt Meadows, Canada. We got our first emails from Manila in the Philippines and Jakarta, Indonesia, too. We're growing. There's a fungus among us. It's the Rat's Ass Podcast. So wherever you listen, though, I want to thank you very much for spending time with us and tapping the app, all right? That's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. You'll find us on the socials when you search for Rat's Ass Podcast on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, where you can also link to the Rat's Ass Podcast blog and read about the 3 reasons why women stop having sex with a man. Yeah, we aim to educate you on this stuff. We'll do this again on Wednesday, January 8th. Wait a minute. January 6th. It came to me. January 6th, Nancy Pelosi. I got it. I knew I'd fucking figure this out, too. The movie Grandma's Boy was released with Rob Schneider, David Spade, Jonah Hill, Harry the Chimp, Shirley Jones. Did you see it? All right, take care of each other, and thanks for dropping by the Rat's Ass Podcast. I'm so proud of myself.